Hello friends, in this video we will discuss the basic concepts that are required to understand the linked list. In this particular video, I'll be discussing how to declare a structure, how to declare or use dynamic memory allocation with the structure, and how to declare pointers to a structure. So let us begin. So we will first discuss the structure, then the pointer arrays, then dynamic memory allocation. I'll be making use of a diagram to make the concepts more clear, and we will be declaring a student structure and include two fields in it, name and roll number. If you do not understand what is a structure in C language, then you first need to read about it, and then this video will be helpful to you. So as we can see here in this particular code, I have included stdio.h and have already included stdlib.h. io.h is required for printf scanf functions. stdlib.h is required for malloc, which is memory allocation, free, which is used for freeing the memory that has been allocated dynamically, and size of function, which helps in calculation of how much size memory we should reserve in the memory. So then we have declared the struct student. It consists of two data members. One is a character type of pointer name and the other is a character type of pointer roll number. Now here name and roll number cannot directly hold values because they are pointers, and therefore we need to allocate memory to them. Then in the main function we have declared a variable star s1 of type struct student. Now this creates a pointer variable s1 which will point towards the dynamically allocated student, and then that student will contain two pointers which will in turn point towards the dynamically allocated memory for name and for roll number. So as you can see here below this, we have three malloc statements. In the first malloc, we are allocating the space for the struct student size. So whatever is the size of the struct student, that much memory will be allocated and typecasted, and the pointer will be saved in s1. Then since s1 is a pointer, we will make use of the arrow which is minus followed by greater than symbol for accessing the name and the roll number. So s1 arrow name, and here we are allocating a character type of memory of size 50 bytes. Similarly for roll number, we are allocating memory of size 50 bytes. Then you can simply scan these values using %s for name and roll number, and then print these values like any other string that we use in the C language. Now this particular program shows how dynamic memory is done for structure as well as for the data members, but this is for a single record. Now let me show you how to do it for an array of objects in which more than one element is involved. So as you can see here in this code, from the last code only 3-4 changes are there. First of all, the struct student is declared as star s1 and array of 10 size. Then we have used a for loop for reading the values of 10 elements, and then s1 is followed by the array subscript I, and then malloc is done for a single object, then for name and roll number in s1 of I. Then the similar scanfs and printfs are there as in the previous video. Now let me show you the memory organization. Array, the s1 array consists of 0 which has an address of 300, s1 1 which has an address of 400, s1 2 which has an address of 500 in case I declare an array of size 3. Now the first element s1 of 0 points to address 300. At 300 we have two pointers, name and roll number. Now name is pointing towards the address of 700, as we can see here at the bottom on the right side I am showing. As we can see here at 700 we have Himani. Similarly roll number 500. At 500 we have the value of 25. So as we can see on the left side now, S10 is name 700, roll number 500. Then S11 is name 710 and roll number 510. And the 710 in turn will have some value, string value, and 510 will have some integer or a string value. So in this way, S1 is an array of 0 to whatever is the size of the array, which are pointers towards the structures. Then the structure itself contains two pointers for the corresponding string values, and those addresses contain the actual value. So in order to access, first I read from S1 the particular index, I read the address, then I go to that address, read the name address and the roll number address, and then I fetch the values. I hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you very much for watching.